Hello, dear viewers, and a very warm welcome back to our channel. Today, we delve deep into a narrative that many are now characterizing as the culmination of a profoundly challenging period for the former senior royal, Meghan Markle. Indeed, the whispers and headlines suggest a complete and utter humiliation. Let me unpack this unfolding story for you, piece by meticulous piece. It's truly wonderful to connect with you all, and I trust you are doing splendidly. I'm speaking to you directly from the very heart of London, on what has turned out to be a surprisingly warm, almost spring-like day. The weather has been quite unpredictable, I must say. One moment you're packing a heavy coat, the next you're regretting the bulk of it. Then you consider adding a scarf, only to wonder why you bothered with any of it in the first place. You know how it is, the ever-changing whims of the climate. And in a rather tenuous, yet undeniably fitting parallel, it feels as though the fortunes within the world of Meghan and Harry have been just as mercurial, if not more so. The past year, particularly, has been described by many observers as nothing short of a public relations and professional disaster for the couple, leading to what some consider a deeply humiliating phase. Now one might ponder whether this recent string of misfortunes is truly an anomaly, or merely a continuation of a pattern that began shortly after their momentous decision to depart from the secure embrace of the British monarchy. Ever since they chose to step away from the established framework and unwavering support system that the royal institution provided, their journey has, in the eyes of many, spiraled from one challenge to the next. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, you just want them back in the monarchy. But my point, my dear friends, is a different one entirely. Prince Harry, in particular, was born into and intimately understood that world. It offered an unparalleled level of security, structure, and a predetermined path. I often draw a parallel to the experiences of some of the legendary Hollywood stars from its golden age, individuals I had the privilege of interviewing many years ago. Take Mickey Rooney, for instance. He once recounted how, after leaving the colossal studio system of MGM, he suddenly found himself in a bewildering new reality. He had never had to hire anyone himself, never learned to read a gas meter, or even pay a water bill. The studio had handled every single aspect of his life, leaving him utterly unprepared for the mundane practicalities of independent existence. And in many respects, that's precisely what it can be like when one steps out from beneath the protective canopy of an institution as vast and all-encompassing as the monarchy. Now, Meghan Markle, with her background as an actress, was certainly no stranger to the unpredictable nature of a career in the entertainment industry. She understood that there are good times and bad times, periods of plenty and periods of scarcity. She was accustomed to the ebb and flow, the highs and lows. However, what we are witnessing now, many argue, is a continuous cascade of bad bits, to the point where even someone with her prior experience might find it utterly infuriating and disheartening. As you may recall from earlier this year, their highly publicized and lucrative contract with the streaming giant Netflix was not renewed in its full scope. Let's not mince words or attempt to sugarcoat the situation, as even Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos himself stated. The primary backers, the key decision-makers within the company, simply had no desire to allocate further substantial resources, or as it was rather crudely put, stomp out a load of doak for any more tosh. This rather blunt assessment referred to a perceived lack of compelling, high-quality content emanating from the couple's production company, Archewell Productions. Everything from the widely anticipated polo show to the proposed business show simply failed to materialize or resonate with the global audience. It just hasn't worked out as hoped. Consequently, a rather significant detail emerged from the remnants of their initial agreement. Netflix retained a first refusal clause. This meant they would have the initial opportunity to review and potentially acquire any new projects Meghan and Harry might conceive. However, given the widely acknowledged fact that the couple has, to date, produced very little of substance, and let's not forget the widely panned Spotify podcast, which was often referred to as Lemonade in informal circles, suggesting a sour taste. It's hardly surprising that even Ted Sarandos isn't exactly beating down their door, eagerly anticipating their next big idea. The prevailing sentiment is, regrettably, that there probably isn't much to anticipate. What we can look forward to, or at least what has been heavily promoted, is the alleged Christmas show. This project has been touted as the best Christmas show ever, with claims of Meghan working tirelessly, round the clock, to bring it to fruition. Yet many observers, myself included, have found it difficult to reconcile these claims with the numerous public appearances she's made, whether it be out in New York or gracing events in Paris. During these highly visible outings, there was never once a mention, let alone a promotion, of her own impending show. This represents a series of glaringly missed opportunities left, right, and center, and I believe this lies at the very core of Meghan's perceived challenges. It appears she simply doesn't fully grasp the intricate art of self-promotion, particularly in the current media landscape. Furthermore, those closest to her, the very individuals tasked with her public relations and project management, seem to be caught in a state of confusion. They're reportedly unsure whether their mandate is to actively promote the Netflix show, or if their efforts should be directed elsewhere given the cooling relations. This ambiguity inevitably leads to inaction, and as a result, nothing truly gets accomplished. Sales figures, where applicable, are reportedly dire, yet she continues to push forward, albeit seemingly without a clear, cohesive strategy. I trust you're beginning to grasp the full scope of this picture. Moving forward, this is where the narrative becomes truly fascinating, because as you can plainly see from numerous headlines circulating around the globe, this ongoing situation has now reportedly caused Meghan Markle to blow her gasket. Oh, absolutely. The internal frustration, the emotional attachments, they are, metaphorically speaking, soaring to new heights. The reason for this heightened tension stems from Netflix's behind-the-scenes efforts to meticulously assemble an incredible press kit, but not for her projects. This press kit, my esteemed viewers, is of paramount importance. These carefully crafted headlines, these enticing snippets, are the lifeblood that helps sell a show to other territories, allowing for its repackaging, clipping, and distribution across various markets. This is what truly gives a production sustained life and ensures its global reach. And the absolute essential ingredient for such success? Stellar reviews. When a highly respected publication such as The Times here in the United Kingdom provides a glowing review, or when numerous other critics worldwide echo similar sentiments, it offers the marketing team at Netflix something tangible, something substantial, meat and potatoes, as it were, to fuel their promotional campaigns. Sadly, the same simply could not be said for Meghan Markle's endeavors. Her projects, as they stood, failed to resonate with the audience. They lacked that crucial spark, that compelling quality that captures and holds public attention. Consequently, her content quickly faded from prominence, dropping rapidly out of the top 10 viewership rankings. As I've often remarked, people did indeed tune in to watch Meghan's show, and I don't mean this unkindly, but it was often described in a peculiar way. It was so bad, it was good. It was akin to a car crash you couldn't quite look away from. Much like a certain soap opera we had here in the 90s called El Dorado. It was so dire, it achieved a kind of cult status for its very ineptitude. But crucially, it was not good enough to sustain a loyal, enduring audience. Now, here's where the plot truly thickens and the contrast becomes stark. Netflix, with remarkable quietness and strategic precision, is now investing a truly substantial amount of money into another prominent figure, Victoria Beckham. They are reportedly convinced that they have discovered a major star in her, an individual with the potential to be developed into a multitude of other exciting ventures. I can tell you, firsthand and exclusively, that discussions are underway for another behind-the-scenes look at what it truly takes to bring her renowned fashion shows to life. And, perhaps most tantalizingly, there are talks surrounding a potential reunion of many of the iconic Spice Girls. There are, by all accounts, numerous exciting possibilities on the table with Victoria Beckham. But above all else, the fundamental reason why Netflix is so enamored with her is quite simple and profoundly telling. She is easygoing, genuinely happy to promote her work, and perhaps most importantly, she is universally described as fun to be around. According to an insider source who has worked directly at Netflix, a palpable atmosphere of apprehension surrounded Meghan Markle's projects. Nobody, it seems, dared to suggest anything regarding publicity or promotional strategies for fear that it wouldn't be well received by Lamar. An informal, perhaps somewhat derogatory, moniker used to refer to Meghan herself. This stark contrast in working relationships speaks volumes about the differing approaches and attitudes of the two women. And ultimately, my dear viewers, headlines like those we're discussing today serve as irrefutable proof, once and for all, that Meghan and Harry, despite their assertions and ambitions, clearly have no genuine understanding of what their audience truly desires or what will genuinely captivate the public imagination. Meanwhile, as has often been the case, when things go awry, the blame, it seems, is always conveniently shifted onto someone else. This time around, however, Netflix, it appears, has finally reached its breaking point. They've had enough. So, we've covered the recent perceived humiliations, the struggles post-monarchy, the ill-fated Netflix ventures, and the striking contrast with Victoria Beckham's burgeoning success. It truly begs the question, what does this mean for the future trajectory of Meghan and Harry's public careers and their standing in the global spotlight? This series of events certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding authenticity, promotional savvy, and the often harsh realities of the entertainment industry. What are your thoughts on this unfolding situation? Do you agree with the assessment that this constitutes a period of significant challenge for the Duchess? Or do you see a different narrative at play? Please share your perspectives and insights in the comment section below. Your opinions are always valued and contribute so much to our discussions. Don't forget to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel for more in-depth analyses and celebrity updates, and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to our next conversation. Goodbye for now.